Greetings, my excellent friends.
What's going on, YouTubers? Big Philly, Poor Boys RC. Thanks again for tuning in. Just wanted to go over the Mod-Clod today, guys. I don't know if you watched my video from Sunday. If you haven't already, please do watch it. I'll throw a link in the description box down below. Check it out to see this big, glorious bastard in action. Yeah, and so I haven't driven this thing in a while. And a lot of you guys in the last year and a half or so have been saying, hey, what's with that clod-buster you got in the back there? I don't drive it too often. It's kind of like a special rig to me. It's got some sentimental value. And for some reason, I just don't drive it that often. But at any rate, I wanted to go over it with you guys, sort of answer all the questions everyone's had and show you what I've built here, because I built this thing almost 10 years ago. And what is it? It's 2021 now. I think I started building this guy in 2012. So it's gone through a few changes since that build. But let's just get into it. I'll show you what we got going on here. I'm going to blab on a lot. And hopefully you guys like it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and give me a comment. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. In the crazy world of YouTube today, those subscriptions mean the world to us content creators. If you're enjoying the content, please do take a moment to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. It means a lot to me, guys. Thanks so much. So first things first, there's the truck, guys. There it is up close and personal. And as you can tell up top, we're rocking the GMC Top Kick body by Proline. This body, as far as I know, has been discontinued. But that is a sweet body. And, you know, hindsight being 2020, if I could go back and repaint it, I would go with a different paint scheme on it. Back when I got this, Transformers had just come out, and I was just going for this, like, just blacked out, pure black thing with some green stripes. And anyway, I'd go back and change the paint scheme a bit if I could, but I'm really happy with it. I kind of went crazy with some decals, and that's the gist of that. It does have functional headlights in the front, and they do shine green, actually. And it's green LEDs I got, and just wired that up, just plug it into my ESC. Get some juice on that, and that's that, the GMC Top Kick body. I hear it's discontinued now, pretty sought after, wicked body. And there's the meat and potatoes of it right there, guys. That is the Mod-Clod. So let's talk about what we're dealing with here. We've got, these are original clod-buster tires, guys, believe it or not, from the 80s. When I started this build about 10 years ago, my best friend, he got a clod-buster for Christmas back in 89, I want to say, maybe 90. And anyway, these are the tires that were on his clod-buster, believe it or not. And you can see some of that orange kind of cement. You old guys like me would know we used to use this like orange, kind of like rubber cement stuff. Anyway, that's what he had to glue his tires together. So yeah, so we've got original tires here from an original clod-buster, which is super, super cool. And to be totally clear with everything, I did give him another set of tires for his Clod. I think I got him some Big Joes. I think they're J Concepts or something like that, Big Joes. Nasty big tread things. Anyway, I sent him a set of those. He sent me these in return, so that worked out really well for both of us. Let's talk about the gearboxes, which are also original. Clod-buster gearboxes, guys, front and rear. These were purchased, again, by the same best friend, Phil Tyndall. Thumbs up, buddy. Love ya. Hang loose, bud. These gearboxes were purchased by my best friend as a gift to motivate me to build a clod-buster. And so these were picked up off eBay. These are original 1980s clod-buster gearboxes with the original gears in them. The gears were still in good shape, so I did reuse them. So we got original gearboxes, original tires, and I think that pretty much sums it up for what's still original and what's like OG Clod on this thing. So let's start with the chassis and talk about that, guys. This is a chassis that was built by Crawford Performance Engineering, or CPE. And honestly, guys, I'm really sorry. I forget the name of it. And I go to their website to see if I can kind of refresh my memory. And they don't have a lot of clod-buster chassis available anymore. 10 years ago when I built this, they had a lot of clod-buster chassis available. I want to say this was called the Terminator. I think this was a Terminator chassis. For all you guys watching, and if you know what the name of this chassis is, please throw it in the comments below. Refresh my memory. I think this was a Terminator, but I may be wrong. Anyway, cool chassis design though. I mean, it holds a 2S LiPo in here perfectly. And as you can see, I can put two 2S LiPos in here. And when I originally had built this truck, my plan was to run two 2S LiPos 5,000 milliamps, run them in parallel or series, whichever one it is that doubles your amperage or doubles your runtime basically. So I'd have like a 10,000 milliamp runtime, you know, a 3-hour runtime, 4-hour runtime truck. But obviously I got away from that. But no, a great chassis. When I bought it, it came just silver. So I took it to the powder coaters and had it powder coated satin black, which I love the look of. And that's it. That's the chassis. I mean, you can look at all the holes, just adjustability through the roof. There's the overhead view of it. It's obviously a twin vertical plate chassis, nice and thick, plenty strong. Came with these nice beefy aluminum support tubes. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Lunchbox or like lunchbox style body posts where they stick out the side. And that's it. It's a great chassis. I love it. And again, speaking about Crawford Performance Engineering, most of these parts that I bought, if you guys are looking to know, if you want to know where I got the stuff from, most of these hop-ups came from CPE. The upper 4 links, these, whatever you call this, bracket doodad, they came from CPE. The lower 4 links all came from CPE. Front servo, mounting plate, geez, what else? There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about here, guys. But if you're looking to build a Mod-Clod similar to this, go to Crawford Performance Engineering. They got you hooked up. And while on the subject of links, let's talk about these guys. Look at these. They're gorgeous. Carbon fiber links, upper and lower. And man, they're beautiful. And they're fully adjustable. Crawford's got you all set up, whatever kind of wheelbase you want to go for. And to be honest, I'm pushing about a 1/8 scale wheelbase now. I stretched this thing out quite a bit when I built it. But these things are plenty strong, and I love the way they look. And this plate right here is also from CPE, and this is a nice beefy carbon fiber plate that mounts the lower control arms, or the lower 4-link arms bolt to this plate. And yeah, look at that, nice and thick, great structure. We've got aluminum. These outdrives are actually made of aluminum as well, guys. One more hop-up that I did. I want to say it was Hot Racing. These are Hot Racing aluminum outdrives that I had powder coated in satin black as well. And then Hot Racing steering knuckles. And I locked out the rear steer in this one. There's this metal plate in here that I also got from CPE, and that helps lock out the rear steer. If I wanted to go to 4-wheel steering, I could. I just chose not to. I didn't really need it. So, but yeah, a lot of aluminum in this guy and a lot of dollars spent, that's for sure. And then I was lucky. At the time, I found a guy on eBay that was making these skid plates for clod-busters. And as you can see, they're very well used. I also had them powder coated black. Now, the one in the rear, I've used it as a kind of multi-function. It's also helping keep the rear steer locked out. I put these little arms in to keep the rear wheels. I've got a little bit of toe in, so it drives nice and straight, and that's about that. But then the front one, you know, it kind of moves around, which is kind of annoying. I could tighten the nuts down all the way. It would still move around a little bit. So whatever, it is what it is, and it helps protect the front gearbox, which is like 30-year-old plastic. Now let's talk about that front end. Look at it. It looks menacing. I love it. Again, carbon fiber links by Crawford Performance Engineering, steering knuckles by Hot Racing, axle tubes, aluminum powder coated satin black, also by Hot Racing. We've got the carbon fiber lower 4-link mounts, Crawford Performance Engineering. And man, this thing's, it's all metal. It's awesome. This center upper 4-link mount doodad, I forget what it's called. Anyway, this is also made of aluminum, also powder coated satin black, obviously. And then, yeah, definitely went with the front mounted servo, and also from Crawford Performance Engineering. Went with the Savox, waterproof, and this thing has got all the power it needs to turn these wheels. You can't see inside here, but I've also got RC 4-wheel drive CVDs in the front. So we get a lot of steering out of a clod-buster. Sounds like a big fat lie, but it's true. I actually had to dial it back. It turns so much, it actually comes in contact with the lower 4-link. Look at that. It'll actually touch it on both sides. So I've got the steering maxed to where, you know, it just stays away from it, but you get a ton of steering with this setup. In fact, you get so much that the four-wheel steering is really not necessary. And if you watch the running video, you're gonna see a few times, I'm running it on sand, and it's like, it wants a traction roll sometimes. I mean, this thing, maybe not traction roll, but it has enough grip and enough steering that it'll actually topple over at speed on sand. So that tells you something. It's got a lot of steering. For a clod-buster on two-wheel steering, that's pretty cool. And again, for some builds, guys, like I wanted to go wild with this thing. So again, I was planning 2 batteries and I wanted mad power. And at the time when I built this, no lie, I was running twin Castle Creations brushless motors, 4-pole 6900 kV brushless motors with 2 Castle sidewinders in here. And it was amazing, but it was way too much power. This thing would do, I don't know, 80 kilometers an hour. Like, it was insanely fast. I had it out on Long Beach, out in Tofino. Dogs were chasing it. Dogs that don't normally chase things were chasing it. Like, it was cool. But it was just way too much power. And I was just gonna start blowing stuff up. It was almost like that. It wasn't fun anymore. It was just too fast. So I had big dreams, big aspirations for this rig. Made it all happen. It wasn't realistic. I had to dial it back. So let's talk about the power plant that we got running this thing now, because it's been changed, and it was changed recently, and I'm happy with the change. Check it out. So let's start off with the ESC, guys. Huge fan of Hobbywing, and here we are rocking the Hobbywing 880 dual brushed ESC. So it is good for LiPo or nickel metal hydride batteries or an iCAD, and good for 2 brushed motors. So as I just said, I wanted to get away from the brushless. So that was the ESC to fit the bill. Awesome product. I love it. And as far as motors go, you're looking at a couple HPI Firebolts. Let's get a closer look. So that's the power plant there, guys. HPI Firebolt, brushed motor. Man, 15 turn, couldn't be happier. It's got that right amount of torque and speed. And also it's a budget friendly motor. If you guys haven't used one of these yet, these motors drop in at like $25, $30 Canadian. So they're really budget friendly, and they really got a lot of punch to them. So awesome choice for this truck. It's plenty fast, but not too fast. And finally, I think the last thing to talk about on the truck, guys, is the suspension. And here we are rocking the G-Made EXO shocks. And they're beautiful. I mean, again, I put these together 10 years ago, so it's been a while. But I will say, I remember the piston inside being like made of a nice Delrin or something. It was a really nice piston. And these things are just silky smooth with a nice bump stop at the bottom. And again, watch the running video, guys. I'm not trying to self-promote. Yeah, I am. I'm totally trying to self-promote. But watch a running video. I think you'll enjoy it. You're going to see the shocks working in super slow-mo, and you're going to see some cool stuff. These are really, really nice shocks, and couldn't be happier with them. So that's it for today's video, guys. That's it for Operation Mod-Clod. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments below. Always happy to answer you guys. And again, this is a passion project that, you know, 2 best friends going back to the 80s who got into RC together at the same time. Again, my best buddy, he got this truck, well, not this truck, but he got a clod-buster for Christmas back in 88 or 89, maybe 90, don't quote me on it, kind of blurry. But I had the Midnight Pumpkin at the time, and he had the clod-buster, so I had to have a clod at some point in my life. For Christmas, he went ahead and picked up these axles for me, so it's kind of a cool story. He bought me the axles, and that's what got the ball rolling for me. And then, of course, he sent me these tires, and game was on, man. It was time to start building the clod-buster. So this one has a lot of sentimental value. I love this truck. It's a ton of fun to run. Again, if you haven't watched the running video, please do. It's the link is in the description box down below. Had a lot of fun on the beach, and took this thing and ran it through its paces. So it was a good time. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. All the love, support, and as always, guys, be excellent to each other.